Hello, wherever you are. This is Richard Hardiman, and I'm going to begin the second aspect of the Gematria of Genesis, which is based on my book, which you can see here on the screen behind me. Of course, I can tell you that it is very worth reading. So in the last session, what we did was that we covered the aspects regarding the sequence of letters, where it's divided into four groups. The group of 1 to 9, the physical world, the phenomenal world, the world we see, hear, and touch, the conscious world, which we have in our minds, the spiritual world, and finally the super spiritual world, which is the world beyond this one, the world on the next plane. But this time I would like to go really back to the beginning and just discuss the letter Aleph. If you look at the letter Aleph, it is actually comprised of 3 letters. It is comprised of the Yod at the top and Yod at the bottom, and a Vav which cuts through the middle. What does this mean? If you remember from the last session, the letter Vav is the symbol of a hook. And the Yod is like, it's the smallest letter in the entire alphabet. It's actually a dot, which starts at a point and then it expands outwards. The letter Yod has a value of 10. As you remember from last time, 10 is related to 1. So if 1 is the oneness of God, then 10, the Yod, is God in his conscious form. So here we have the Yod above and the Yod below. Yod in heaven, Yod on earth. The conscious form of God in heaven, the conscious form of God on earth, linked and pulled together by the Vav, by the hook. This is just an interpretation of the word, the simple letter Aleph. Now, if we calculate the value of the letter Aleph, comprising of Yod, Yod, and a Vav, it comes to 10, 6, 10 equals 26. What is 26? Well, if we look at the name for God, which is Yod He Vav He, we will see that Yod He Vav He, Yod is 10, He 5, Vav 6, He again 5. It also adds up to 26. So here you have inherent in the letter Aleph the name of God. Let's go one step further. 26 divided into 2 is 13. 13 in Hebrew is the Gematria for the word for 1. 1 in Hebrew is Achad. Achad is spelled Aleph, Chet, Dalet. 1, 8, 4 equals 13. So implicit in this letter Aleph is the oneness of God. The oneness. So not only does the letter Aleph have a geometrical value of 1, but it is the oneness of God in a dualistic form. In a dualistic form. Let's take that one step further. God is one, but in a dualistic form. If we look at the first word of the Bible in Genesis, it is the word Bereshit. And what you notice is that it has a big bet. Now, the first question is, why is the letter large? Is it simply embellishment because it's the first letter of the Bible? No. What we find in the Bible is that on very few occasions, some letters are enlarged, some letters are diminished. It means that they have a special meaning. So here, the very first letter of the Bible is an enlarged bet, a big bet. So here we got two questions. One, the first letter of the Bible, shouldn't it begin with an Aleph? Aleph, the symbol of God, the symbol of oneness, the creation of the world. Why does it begin with a bet, with a value of 2? Well, in simplistic terms, the bet stands for, the enlarged bet stands for the Big Bang. Okay. What is the Big Bang? It's the beginning of duality, the beginning of the separation of heaven and earth, of the land and the sea, of the waters above and the waters below, etc., etc. The 6 days of creation are the beginning of duality. What came before that? As we can see in the text, it says that the world was tohu bohu. We don't know what tohu bohu is, but what is it envisages is this kind of cosmic soup of this blending of all the forces together in this oneness. So again, what we are looking at the very beginning, before the creation, is the cosmic soup. The Aleph was the oneness of the world. It was at the act of creation with the big bet that we had the formation of duality. And we can see how this expands at a later point beyond this. But let's look again how this mixes with other philosophies. If you put a circle around the letter Aleph, basically you get the same format of the yin-yang form, which we know him from Chinese philosophy. Exactly the same concept, exactly the same implicit duality in the wholeness of oneness. This was the beginning of the creation of the world. See you in the next session. Have a good day.